Hey yo, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Chad bringing y'all another video once again, man. And in this video, I just want to talk about what I was trying to mention in my last video before I said, this is going to be a different video topic. But this video, we're going to be talking about discerning and discernment of the information that is now coming out. You feel me? So as you all know, people like Project Veritas, the media, the mainstream media, who normally has this old liberal perspective, are now, it seems like a lot of information starting to come out about the truth regarding vaccinations, immunity, and just various different topics around the world, right? And I know that, when you're looking at these different things, it can make you question your reality. You feel me? People who have discernment, like me, okay, this is how my discernment works, right? Let me use, for example, when Kamala Harris is supposed to be on The View, right? So I'm watching The View because my mom likes watching The View, which I told her she needs to stop doing that. But she'll watch The View, right? And they're talking about Kamala Harris coming up next. It then comes out that they're like, oh, Sonny and what's her name, you guys leave, right? Yeah, just leave. We'll explain it later. Then they come out later, oh, they have COVID. Kamala can't come out here and talk because they have COVID and they want to be safe. I immediately looked at them doing that and said, Ma, this is BS. They just don't want Kamala to come out here and answer tough questions that these folks have for her. They really don't. I said, my discernment's already telling me that. Sure enough, it came out that they were false positive COVID tests and everyone's safe and yada yada. I'm like, all right, bro. Like, they're just literally fooling the people. Like, they just must have wanted views. And then when it also comes out, like my discernment with Project Veritas, right? They'll come out, give the whole videos of the whistleblowers, give the evidence, and they're not even like right leaning or anything like that. They just give the facts, right? And my discernment is like, Project Veritas is telling the truth. One, it goes against what the mainstream media, the narratives, the agendas are doing. And also the whistleblowers and stuff are putting their lives on the line, which I see. And they're also, when, I forgot what the man's name is, James O'Keefe. I'm not sure what his name is. I'm sorry if I butchered it. But the main dude who does Project Veritas, you all know who I'm talking about. He asked them, like, are you guys scared? Are you guys in fear? And they're like, my faith isn't in man, it's in God. And so my whole thing is basically like, I could just tell off that my discernment and my, spirit is just like, this is truth. This isn't narrative. This isn't agenda. This isn't believing what you want to believe. And so when you come and it's time for you to realize a lot of information out there, a lot of information is like misinformation, disinformation, people's opinions, people's narratives, their agendas, what they're trying to push. And if you have discernment, it's very easy to tell that. Like, a lot of things don't get me anymore. The news will come out and say, like the news the other day, I was sitting there with my mom and my dad, and the news was like, there's a hate crime at this high school in Georgia. They put up on the walls the N-word and put a swastika. Immediately, I said, Mom and Dad, that's fake. You know who probably did it? A black person. And they were like, what? These hate crimes? I was like, no. I'm telling you all, this right here, these swastikas in the bathroom and the N-word on the bathroom wall, I was like, this reminds me of Jesse Smollett. This reminds me of the NASCAR driver finding a noose in his garage. This reminds me of all these hate crimes that they keep trying to push, but yet we have to create for the racism card to be used. If racism was so bad, why would people be creating hate crimes instead of like actual racists doing racist stuff? You feel me? And so I told him, like, this seems like a black person that did it. It just, my discernment's telling me this is fake. This is false. This is just a narrative that's being pushed in the media. And those who are hearing this are probably like, it's some white dude. It's some white dude. They're doing blah, blah, blah. Came out next day. It was a black kid that did it. And the black kids that were in the video explaining, like, who went to the same school as the person that did it, they were like, this is so confusing that a black person would do this, and it just draws further division. And I was like, that's all this stuff is. This, like, if you have discernment, you would know that this stuff is happening, right? But James 1 verse chapter 5, If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given to him. So like I used to, back in January, when I was like, I'm just really gonna just live for God and just do what it is he asked me to do, you feel me? Even though I've been trying to do that, since I came into the truth, but I really got a good understanding of it. And I just pray to God, like, Lord, just give me knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I pray that every day. And if not, like every day, multiple times every day. And so at this point, it's like, I'm not trying to brag or nothing, but it's like the Lord be speaking to me. Like he'll show me stuff. Like I can look at something in my discernment and be like, that's fake or that's true. Or I can look at someone else and be like, they have the Spirit of God or they don't have the Spirit of God. You feel me? And so me just asking for that understanding, just praying for that understanding, asking for the knowledge, asking for the wisdom, asking for the understanding, the Lord delivers. He truly does. So if you're confused on any of the information that's out there and you're having a hard time because all these different voices, the media, people's opinions, I really just recommend just humble yourself. Just tell yourself, you know what? I don't know it all. I need help. Ask God for help and he'll show you. I promise. But it does take humility and it does take you to just humble yourself. You feel me? Because if you're going to not humble yourself, then you're going to think you know it all. You got all the answers, which we don't. So you just got to humble yourself and just sincerely from your heart, just ask, yo, Lord, is this true? Yo, Lord, should I be following this person? Lord, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? And over time, you'll actually see, wow, like I see things so differently. Like it's like you're renewing your mind. Like the Lord's renewing your mind. He's getting rid of all that opinionated and narrative driven and agenda type stuff. And he's renewed your mind so you don't think like this world does and you actually see the truth. You feel me? So like it says here, Proverbs 3, 5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your path straight, basically. And so when you're, going through trying to decipher information, it's easy for you just to say, oh, swastikas on the wall, the N-word, that must be white people. Yeah, I got it. Because that's your own understanding. But if you just, like I said, you humble yourself, lean not to your own understanding, and, just ask God to show you the truth, he'll show you through the discernment, intuition, whatever you want to call it, and be like, this isn't actually what you thought it was. This is actually this way. What they've been saying about the vaccine isn't actually that true. This is what's true. You feel me? And so it just takes just a little humbling. And that's all, God really wants for us to do is really just humble ourselves before him and just ask him. He's literally there for a relationship with us to show us the narrow path. Broad is the way that leads to destruction. Narrow is the way that leads to eternal life. All he says is, you know what, y'all? Just humble yourselves, have a relationship with me, and I'll show you the narrow path. And I'll lead you down it. You don't got to do no extra thinking. You don't got to think for yourself. You don't have to do all this extra complicated things. Believe every voice, all these false prophets. You just trust me. I got you. And, it is kind of hard sometimes just to trust God. You feel me? Because you feel like, oh, I got to do this now. I got to do this. I got to take this upon myself. But if you humble yourself and just allow him to show you, you'll realize, man, you know what? He actually had it. He had the plan figured out for me. He had the narrow path. He had the path that's the least resistance. You feel me? He had the path that I needed. You feel me? God doesn't give us what we want. He gives us what we need. And also 1 John 4-1, when it comes to, all this different information that you hear from everybody around, all these different voices, because you have to silence those voices and just listen to God. You feel me? 1 John 4-1, beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, for many false prophets have gone out into the world. So a lot of people, they say, oh, God told me this and God told me that and this is true, and if you don't believe this, then you're blah 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 blah. And it's like you gotta test the spirits, right? People can come out saying, oh, The swastikas and the N-word on the wall, that's white people, racism. They're trying to take over the school. But you got to test the spirit to see, are they being truthful? Are they being led by God? Is what they're saying right? Or is what they're saying opinion? Is it a narrative? Is it an agenda? So you just have to test every spirit out there, no matter who it is. Like for me, right? You could listen to my videos and everything like that, but you could still test the spirit, see, is Chad coming from a genuine place? Is Chad coming from what God showed him? Or is he just throwing out his opinion, trying to push a narrative, trying to push an agenda, just doing stuff for views, that sort of thing. But when you test the spirits, then you can tell what it is that you should be listening to, who you should be listening to, who you shouldn't be listening to, who's telling the truth, who's pushing lies, who's pushing a narrative, who has an agenda, who's being genuine, who's actually being led by God, who's being led by the Spirit. And like I said, that all comes from just humbling yourself, asking God to show you, and he'll show you. And once he shows you, you'll know, because you're testing the spirit by allowing him to show you. You feel me? But yeah, man, I just wanted to do this video about discernment because I feel like in this time it's very key, especially as the information, as the lies are getting exposed, more and more is getting exposed, and the amount of misinformation or disinformation that's going along with everything that's being exposed is trying to cover up the truth. So like the lies are here, right? And it's a bunch of lies, but yet the truth is dissecting and getting the lies exposed for the truth, but they're also using different tactics. The enemy's using different tactics to try to cover up the truth and cover their tracks so no one can figure out what's going on. And it leaves a lot of people confused on, well, this was true a few months ago or a few weeks ago, now it's not, and this is true, but then they're saying, no, that's not true, and this is true. And so you have to test every spirit. You have to, if you want that knowledge, that wisdom, that understanding of what's true and what's not, you got to just humble yourself before the Lord and say, you know what, God, like, please, I really just want to know. Like, I just want to know. I want the truth. I don't want the lies, the narratives, opinions. I just want the truth. And I promise you, he'll show you. But thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment down below if you have any. I just want to do this video on discernment because it takes a lot of discernment and a lot of, knowing what's happening out here, who's pushing all these different things and who's telling the truth, because the truth is very, very, very much in need in this time and age. And it's like the truth is like a famine right now. So yeah, man, just humble yourselves, get before the Lord, ask him to show you, he'll show you. But as always, man, it's been your boy Chad. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'm out. Peace.